didn't know the bus's ram is late.
They don't.
Well, they're dropping someone off.
Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I got top 10 video for you guys on GTA Online. I haven't made one like this in a long time, and this is a video that people have heavily requested. And some of the clips that you will see on here are clips from years ago that I've had saved. Others are actually clips that have actually happened fairly recently. But basically, I made a video top 10 most annoying types of GTA Online players in 2017, and I also made one top 10 most annoying types of players in 2019. But now, 5 years later, there actually are things that people do that is really annoying that didn't actually exist 5 years ago. And so on this list, you'll see some of the same types of players that I listed 5 years ago, but I'll also have some new types of players. I will not be making this video again. This is the final time that I will be making this video. I will be making this type of video for GTA 6 Online whenever that comes out. But anyways, I hope that you guys enjoy this video. Top 10 most annoying types of players in GTA Online 2024. Starting off at number 10, we have people who AFK as CEO or MC. Now, I'm not talking about, I want to be clear, I'm not talking about people who AFK while their businesses are producing. I do that all the time. I actually advocate that, you can buy supplies for businesses, and then, you can go AFK while the businesses produce. What I'm talking about instead is people who take up an active CEO or MC slot when they're not doing anything with it, and they just go AFK. The reason this gets annoying is because when you join public sessions, and there's plenty of people doing this, you get this message right here that you cannot start up a CEO or MC. Now look, I know you can go into a private lobby and, start up a CEO or MC whenever you want, but some people like playing in public sessions. I like playing in public sessions with my friends as an MC or a CEO doing work. We see other players. We feel that the world is more alive. So it gets me really annoyed when I see stuff like this exactly. I have a few friends of mine in this session here, but this is a perfect example of what happens is you will have people who will go AFK as a CEO or MC, and they will be sitting inside their office, their clubhouse, their business, and they won't be doing anything, and they'll just be sitting in there the entire time. It's pretty obvious that they are AFK. Now look, if you are playing as a CEO, solo, or MC, that's perfectly fine. I have no problem with you, but make sure that you're at least doing something with it. Make sure you're at least running missions, running a business. That's fine. I run CEOs and MCs solo as well, but please don't take up an MC or a CEO slot and then go AFK because you're taking it away from players. I remember when GTA 5 came out in PS5 and lobbies were just full, I remember there was so much of this message. You would see players not being able to form an MC or a CEO because there were so many full lobbies constantly, and there was people that were always AFKing inside one of their businesses as a CEO or MC. If you're gonna AFK, then at least please do it when you are not a CEO or MC, because you are then taking up that spot away from somebody else. This is the only people on this list that are not trying to be annoying. Every single other person on this list is intentionally trying to be annoying, but this is the only type of players that aren't trying to be annoying, but because of their actions, this is an annoying behavior. So just please don't do that. It gets annoying. Next at number 9, we have RC spammers, and I want to thank my friend Kane for sending this clip over to me. So this happened about a month ago. We were playing as an MC in a public session, and we had this guy constantly spawning in vehicles with the remote control upgrades and constantly trying to crash into us, run us over, shoot us over and over again. Now this became a problem right after the Contract DLC came out in 2021. You had the option to have remote control options installed in a lot of the Imani Tech vehicles, and people can just drive these vehicles around without actually having to be inside them, and they can get kills without actually having to worry about dying. And people don't just use the RC vehicles, they will also use the RC tanks, they will use the RC car, but they'll always be using some kind of RC vehicle, and even if you blow up their vehicle, what they will do is they will immediately just run right back to their apartment. They will probably teleport with a heist invite, or they'll get right back to the apartment, they'll call Mors Mutual, and then they'll spawn another one of these vehicles again, and they'll just keep doing it. Fortunately, though, these guys are not common. I don't really see that many of these RC cars. When they do happen, they do tend to be a bit annoying, so they're not the worst. You can actually get away from them if you have a fast vehicle, and you can get away with them if you're on the roof of a building. But my personal opinion is that the best way, I think, to get rid of them is to do exactly what Kane does right here, is that get on a motorcycle. If you see anybody in one of these RC vehicles, use the EMP launcher, because you can actually use it for a motorcycle, hit their vehicle with the EMP launcher, and then just keep hitting them with the grenade launcher. That way you're not throwing sticky bombs and you're not right next to them. You can keep using the grenade launcher from the Bikers update in 2016. A lot of people forget about that. You just keep firing at their vehicle and you just blow them up. And that's pretty much the way to deal with them. Moving on to number 8, we have the 1-0 Idiots. Now, I didn't talk about these guys 5 years ago on my video, Top 5 Most Annoying Types of Players in 2019, but I did talk about these guys in Top 5 False Myths that people believe on GT Online, which is the 1-0 nonsense. And this is a perfect example of this. So this happened about a year ago. I think this was like fall last year. And what ended up happening is I was doing a solo cargo sale here. I was driving to this location, gonna drop off the cargo, and right when I finished, I got Orbital Cannon. Thankfully, I didn't lose any kind of cargo. It was delivered by that time. But what happened was I got this message right after. And unfortunately, this is very much a real thing. Now, I know there are some people that are trolling when they send messages like this, but there are people that are very much serious. And these guys will do very cheap things to kill you. They will orbital cannon you. They will constantly keep blowing themselves up and then fire an RPG at you, get one lucky kill on you, and then they'll send you that message 1-0, 1-0. And the worst part about this is that it's not even about dying to these idiots. The worst part about this is that the people who do this stuff actually think they're good at the game. They actually think this takes some kind of skill. But honestly, the 1-0 crap is just such nonsense. And then here's an example also. This is from my video 5 years ago, the Myths video, and this is another example of this. I was driving around, and I got orbital cannoned, and again, I get a message 1-0. So really, do people actually think this takes skill? They actually think that using the orbital cannon, killing somebody one time is so skillful. They're so obsessed with these scorecards. Like, honestly, just getting one kill on somebody, it's just so stupid. Why would you brag about something like that? It's just dumb. Next at number 7, we have Orb Warpers. Now, I didn't talk about these guys 5 years ago, but I've noticed these guys become a real problem and they become really annoying. It's not the end of the world because they tend to kill you just one time and they leave the session, but it's just something that's just so cheap and it's just so annoying. I just had to talk about this. But basically, this is a perfect example of an Orb Warper. So this was a few months back. Me and my friend Riley, we were playing as an MC. We were just doing some MC missions together, going towards the clubhouse. As we were going towards the clubhouse, we get jumped by this guy in a Savage, started firing a bunch of missiles at us. It killed Riley, and then I took cover, and the guy started flying away. As he was flying away, I got out my explosive sniper. This is why I always keep explosive rounds on me, in case I run into annoying air vehicles. And this guy, I started shooting at him. I got a bunch of shots on him, and then something weird happened. Out of nowhere, he's disappeared. He vanished. He wasn't in the helicopter anymore. The helicopter went down, but he wasn't in it anymore. It's like, where did he go? Well, then I checked the map, and he is in his facility. That is, of course, that is where he is, and he's getting ready to orbital cannon me. Now, what these guys tend to do is they get into a fight with people. And when the fight is not going the way that they want, what they will do is they will open up a Doomsday Heist invite. So they have that Doomsday Heist invite always ready at all times. They accept it, and they get put in the Doomsday Heist lobby. And then if they back out, they get put in the facility in that same lobby. So they're still in that same lobby. They technically have not left. And they use it just to get to the facility right away. They'll run to the orbital cannon, and then they'll hit you with it, and then they'll oftentimes talk crap, just like the 1-0 idiots. So this is a very common thing. If you do PvP a lot, if you engage in PvP a lot, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This happens a lot, these Orb Warpers. And when the guy realized that me and Riley, we just ran right into the clubhouse, we were just sitting inside there, that he couldn't get us, he left. And that's basically the best way to avoid this crap. If you see some idiot doing stuff like this, then run it immediately. Go off radar, or go ghost organization, or go under the bridge, go into a tunnel, go into some kind of interior, some kind of property, business, apartment. Doesn't matter, as long as it's some kind of interior and they cannot hit you with it. Also, additionally, if you go in the back of one of the special vehicles like the MOC, the Avenger, the Terabyte, the Acid Lab, not in the front, not in the driver's seat or the passenger seat, but right in the back. If you are in the back and they orbital cannon that, they will not kill you and they will actually waste their shot and they will lose their money. And here we got example number 2. In example number 2, this also happened a couple months back. And what happened here was that we were selling a business. I was helping one of my friends sell his business, and we got attacked by a Griefer and a Raiju. The Griefer actually ended up destroying the cargo, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the video too. But what happened was we all started fighting the guy, and I got out my sniper rifle, explosive rounds. I hit his Raiju a few times, and then guess what happened? The guy disappeared, and I didn't know where the guy was. I checked the map really quick, and of course, I see he's in the facility. He is hiding right there. And what did he do? After he realized he wasn't going to orbital cannon us, he started spawning another Raiju. And then at that point I started shooting at it again, and he disappeared a second time, and he's again in the facility. It's like, come on, dude. Seriously, gonna play like this? And then what he did is, when he realized he couldn't get us, he got an Insurgent, and he was driving around in that. I took my Savage, and what I did was I tried to blow up the Insurgent. And what happened? He disappeared again, and he went right into his facility. That's what he did. Oh my god. It's like, people play just like this. It's like, you attack us, you try to destroy cargo, and then this is all you're going to keep doing is just keep warping to a facility over and over again. Now, what ended up happening here is when I saw him in the facility and I was in the Savage, I activated off the radar, but my friend over there, he was actually inside his Avenger, Raven Cookie right there. And what he was doing is he was actually in the back of it. And again, remember, is that when the Griefer goes on the orbital cannon and they can target an Avenger, they will see you in the Avenger, they'll see the thing, spinning its blades, but they don't know if you're in the back or the front seat. And this idiot thought that he was probably in the front seat. He thought he was just hovering over his facility, but he didn't realize he was in the back seat. He thought he was in the front seat. He used the cannon and he wasted the shot, and that was it. He lost his money from that. And then I think the guy left right after that.
I can deal with it. There, you'll have a minute.
Yep, he left right after that. That was just pretty much it. So yeah, that's basically what I'll say about these guys. It's really annoying that people can just, constantly warp to their facility like this, and they can just orbital cannon you. Now, is there anything Rockstar can really do about this? And the answer really is no. Personally, I don't blame Rockstar for this, because this was an exploit that nobody really saw coming. If anything, we could blame them for the orbital cannon, but as for, like, the whole orb warping thing, I would just say that, you can't really, you teleport to the facility with a heist invite, so I don't really know of any solution that could be done to stop orb warping. But if you guys know in the comments of any kind of idea you have of, like, what could be done to stop this, what Rockstar could do, let me know in the comments, but I really have no idea what could be done in a patch to prevent stuff like this from happening. Next at number 6, we have easy way out spammers. And this clip right here, this happened over a year ago. Now, I am not going to call these guys EWO spammers. They even created a word for it, EWO. I'm not even going to use that stupid word. The reason that they use that word EWO is because they don't want people saying it what it really is easy way out. There's a reason it's called easy way out. But anyways, I know what I'm going to have people say to me. People are going to say to me, but Professional, what are you going to do when you're in a really bad situation? Aren't you going to easy way out? No, I don't. And you can watch my PvP videos. I don't easy way out. Even if I'm in a really bad situation like right here, I'm going to do my best to keep fighting. And if I die, I'm just going to take the death. That's it. I'm not going to constantly keep blowing myself up to avoid dying. But that's exactly what people do, is people will constantly keep blowing themselves up. Now, years ago, Rockstar basically patched it where they put a cooldown on easy way out. And what people started doing in response to that is they started to sticky bombing themselves or just RPGing their feet. And that's what people will do. The reason people do that is to avoid dying. So when they're in some kind of fight with you, they will constantly keep blowing themselves up just so they avoid dying by you. And personally, this is one of the stupidest things that I've ever seen. I have never seen another online game besides GTA Online where people intentionally kill themselves to avoid dying. I mean, really, when you think about it, have you really heard about something like that? Speaking of which, right here, I made kind of a mistake. I should have just fired an RPG at him the second he got out of the helicopter, but he got me good here. But anyways, when you really think about it, have you ever seen another multiplayer game, another online game with PvP, where people intentionally kill themselves to avoid dying? Have you really seen something like that? Because I haven't. If you guys know about a game where people kill themselves to avoid dying from other players, let me know in the comments. But I have never seen another game like that besides GTA. So if I'm in a bad situation, I'm PvPing with somebody, I'm just going to take the death. I'm going to do my best to try to survive. I'm going to do my best to keep fighting, but I'm not going to keep blowing myself up because it's just stupid. Just think about like Call of Duty, like Battlefield, like, even in Red Dead. They don't even do this in Red Dead, Red Dead Online. Even the massive sweats that are on that game when it comes to PvP, they don't blow themselves up to avoid dying by other players. But for some reason, people just do this in GTA because it's such an obsession with scorecards. KD is not a problem anymore, but people are still obsessed with those scorecards, and I personally think it's stupid. All it is just a number. That's all it is. But anyways, the background behind this situation that you see right here, this guy started attacking us, and I started fighting the green guy first, the green guy that was in the Sparrow, because he actually attacked one of my friends, and so I started fighting him, and then this guy came over here that I'm fighting right now in the sniper duel, and I thought that this guy was helping us out, but then he started attacking me and we started getting into a fight. At least this guy didn't destroy cargo. At least I'll give him that. It was just a PvP fight. But what ended up happening is, remember, he was an Avenger firing missiles at me, and I wasn't easy way outing. I wasn't doing any of that. But then what I ended up doing is I spawned my Sparrow. And when I spawned my Sparrow, I started trying to blow him up. And every single time I would fly over him, I would try to blow him up. Well, guess what ended up happening? He would constantly blow himself up first, over and over and over again. Before the missile even gets to him, he would just blow himself up. And really, when you blow yourself up like this to avoid my missile killing you, you've really done what I wanted in the first place, because I wanted to kill you. So to me, it doesn't matter if you blow yourself up or if you kill yourself. It is annoying, sure, that's what I'm getting at here, but ultimately, my goal succeeded, because I've been trying to kill you in the first place, and that's what these easy way out guys don't understand, is that when you blow yourself up, you've really accomplished it in the first place, but somehow these guys think that they're good at the game. They somehow think that this takes skill. Constantly keep blowing yourself up over and over and over again like this. And I will tell you, one of the most toxic things that I've seen, and this is what's so annoying, is when these guys fire an RPG at you right before you die. Like right here is a perfect example of that. They will fire an RPG at you really quickly, and then they'll easy way out right after that. They'll just blow themselves up. And that's one of the cheapest things that I've seen. And there is this guy, this Red CEO, I don't even know who this guy is, but he actually came over here to actually help us. I guess that this guy was also killing him a bunch of times, so he just started coming over here to help us. And look at this. He even fired an RPG at the tank over there, and then he easy way outed right after that. And if they get a kill on you right after that, they will act like they're good at the game. They will act like somehow it took skill. But in reality, it didn't. It didn't do anything. And these people are so obsessed with easy way out that I even have a clip for you guys. This is when I was fighting an Oppressor Mark II griefer back in 2019, and I'll actually have more of this clip a little bit later. But this guy, later on, we got into this sniper duel that was at the docks, and you can see right here that when I'm just taking shots at him, my shots aren't even hitting him. He just starts blowing himself up. Like, he'll just instantly blow himself up over and over and over again. So, basically, I know I'm ranting about this a bit, but I just think that it's so stupid. And honestly, whenever I see somebody start killing themselves over and over again when I'm fighting them, I count that as a kill, pretty much. So, I don't care what these guys say. I don't care if they go so crazy about these scorecards. If you kill yourself to avoid me killing you, I've pretty much won at that point. I have gotten a kill. And so I don't easy way out. I don't do this stuff. You can watch my PvP videos. If I'm going to die, I just sit there and take the death. I don't know of any other game where people constantly keep blowing themselves up. I mean, just think about that for really. You're blowing yourself up to avoid dying by another player. If you did that in any other game, people would laugh at you if you did that in any other game. But in GTA, apparently, it's acceptable. Number 5, we have unreasonable heist teammates. Now, this is a very broad list of people that can be very unreasonable in heist. If you do heist a lot, you know exactly what I'm talking about with this. Now, I'm pretty sure that on my video 5 years ago, this was, up higher on the list, but the reason that this is actually closer to 1 on this list here is because since the casino heist and also the Cayo Perico heist, people do heists with randoms a lot more than they did back in the day. And so because of that, if you're doing a lot of heists, these randoms can really, ruin your heist, and it can get really annoying. So what do I mean exactly by unreasonable heist teammates? This is a perfect example. This is when I was doing the Prison Break heist a number of years ago, like 5 years ago, and this is actually gameplay from my video, Top 7 Worst Missions to Do with Randoms, but Prison Break heist finale is one of the worst ones. So I remember when I had a random that was a very low level, and I made him the pilot for the Velum, thinking that, he can't possibly mess this up. It's such an easy role to do, right? Well, before we even started driving towards the prison, he immediately crashed the Velum, which I don't even know how you do that. Like, you'd have to intentionally try to crash the Velum to crash it this early. And then, when we were actually at the very end of the prison, what happened? He crashed it a second time, which is like, what's going on here exactly? And that's what I say is people are not careful when they do heists a lot. They rush, they're pretty reckless, and they will constantly, keep dying. I even had it once where a guy was doing the Prison Break heist. I had him as the pilot, and I remember the guy kept flying around in circles when he was right near the yellow circle, the yellow orb in the air, where you have to drop off Rashkovsky and just jump out. And what he did was he couldn't seem to figure out that he had to go up higher. So what he did was he landed in the water thinking that the plane was amphibious. And look, I get it that accidents happen, people crash, they die every so often. I die in heist, we all die in heist, I get that. But when you have somebody dying multiple times over and over and over again, and they're not cooperating, they're not working together with a team, you don't even have to have a mic to cooperate, at least to stay together with the team, try to do what everybody else is doing. If you have people that's constantly messing up like that, you begin to ask yourself, what the hell is this person doing? But this leads me to my next point on this, is the people who die in heists, at least they're not doing it on purpose, at least it's just an accident. But the most annoying people that I found in heists are the people that are extremely entitled. They're really entitled people that come into a heist and demanding. Now, for the original heist, people don't really do the original heist that much anymore, but for the original heist, I remember back in the day, what would happen is people would join in on the heist, and they didn't even help any of the setup missions. They didn't do any of the other setup missions, and they would join in on the heist, and right when the host is making it, they would demand like a 25% cut, which it's like, no, is the fairest cut to do for the original heist was 40% for the host. It was 20% for everybody else because the host has put money into the heist, and on top of that, the host does not get paid for setup missions. But these idiots would come into the heist and they would constantly complain. It's like, no, 25% for everybody is fair, blah, 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 this. And they would just cause a big scene. But now a casino heist and the Cayo Perico heist, you can do heists with even 2 people. And I will say about this is, these guys, they will come into heists, like, right, if you have, like, a casino heist finale, right, and you start inviting randoms to it, these randoms will, like, come into the casino heist, and they will demand 50%, which, no, it's like, you are not entitled to get 50% of the heist, right, the heist cut, when you join in on a random invite like that. You don't deserve that. And I will say this, is if you help with the prep missions, if you help do all of the prep missions, right, then you are, then feel free to demand as much of 50% as you want. You are entitled to get 50%. Then if you've helped the host of all the other, prep missions, you can ask for 50%. But if you have not helped with any of the other prep missions, if the host did all the prep missions on their own, they did it all solo in like a, private lobby, and then they invited people for their casino heist, you are in no position at that point to demand a 50% cut. I can understand if people get pissed off about it, like a 15% cut, but even like, 30%, 25, 20% cut, that's still pretty good. And that's basically getting like, $300,000 for what, just like a 20-minute mission for just not doing a lot? Sometimes you can even finish in less than that, like 15 minutes. So you're still getting plenty of money with that cut, $300,000, $400,000 for just one mission. So I just personally can't stand it when people come into these heists and they're really entitled and they're like, give me 50%, give me 50%. It's like, no, this is not communism. Is you did not work for this right here. Is the host did all the prep missions on their own, and they are entitled to get a bigger cut because of that. You are joining in on a heist where you didn't do any of the work, didn't do any other prep missions. You don't have a right to ask for 50%. But I know a lot of you guys in the comments are gonna, tell me that you've had like horror stories about this. You've seen people come into heists and are act really entitled. But if you guys know any heist horror stories, please let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to hear them. So just let me know if you have any heist horror stories. So that's what I will say about it. Right now, I have like over $1 billion. So whenever I join heists, and even if it's my own heist, I'll give people, 85% of the cut. I'll only take 15%. But the point that I'm getting at here is that if you don't help with the other prep missions, if you don't help with that stuff, you don't do that stuff, and the host does it, you really are not in a position to demand like 50% of the cut. If you help the host with all the prep missions, you get that all done, and it's only you and the host, then yeah, demand 50%. But if you just join in on a random invite, random Cayo Perico, you join in on a random casino heist, you weren't there for any other prep missions, you are not entitled to 50%, and I don't care what people tell me at that point. Next at number 4, we have selfish helpers. Now, I don't have any gameplay or interaction with selfish helpers here, but I will explain what they are. But I'm very happy I haven't met a selfish helper in years, because it's one of the most annoying players that you can possibly meet. But anyways, this right here, this is gameplay of just me and my friends playing, and this is the way the game is supposed to be played, just like this. This is the complete opposite of a selfish helper. We're all friends here. We're all helping each other sell. So I was helping one of my friends sell his bunker shipment. We got the annoying Merryweather mission, and then right after this, he disbanded his MC, and we helped our other friend who was helping here sell his MC business, and we got the post-op mission. But the point is, we were all just helping each other out. One person sold their businesses, and then once he was done, he immediately went on to helping the next person. This is the way the game is supposed to be played, friends helping friends out. The selfish helper is the complete opposite of this. I ranted about these guys 5 years ago. I don't want to spend too much time talking about these guys, because these guys really, really irritate me. But basically, what a selfish helper is it is somebody who they will basically say to you, can you help me sell my business? Can you help me sell my business? And you'll go and join their CEO or MC. You'll help them sell their business. And the moment that you finish helping them sell all their sales, they just leave. That's it. They don't offer to help you sell anything. And if you actually ask them, can you help me sell my business? Sometimes they'll tell you, yeah, I'll help you right after mine, but they still leave, or they will give you an excuse. They will say, for example, oh, I gotta go eat, I can't help right now. And conveniently, they gotta go eat right after you finish helping them with all of their sales, and then they don't come back. Or they will say, I gotta go to work, or I gotta do something else, I gotta get off the game right now. And look, I get it, stuff comes up, I fully understand that, and people have to get off the game. But the point that I'm getting at right here is that do not ask people to help you sell your businesses if you are not going to help them sell their businesses. If you know that you don't have time to help people sell their businesses, don't ask people to help you sell your businesses, because it's an extremely selfish thing to do. And I will tell you guys, half of these excuses that these guys give, I don't believe them. I believe that they just want to get off the game and they don't want to help the person with their businesses. They just want you to help them with their businesses, but they don't want to help you at all whatsoever. They will make excuses. They will get off the game. And look, I get it that this might happen like, one or two times, but if this happens multiple times over and over and over again, and every single time the person, when you finish helping them sell all their businesses, they just conveniently have to go every single time when you finish helping them sell their businesses, and they don't help you with theirs, then they're using you at that point. And I've actually banned people from the crew. I have banned people from the crew who have done this exact same thing. I had this one guy like years ago, and it happened like 4 or 5 times. It was like he would constantly, ask people for help. Help me sell my business. Help me sell my business. And people would help him sell his business. And what would happen is right after that they finished helping him sell his business, he always said, oh, I gotta go. And I confronted the guy, and he's like, I had to get off the game. And I told him, I was very clear to the guy, and I said to the guy, listen, dude, do not ask people for help if you do not have time to help them sell. I have numerous complaints about this guy in my crew, and what ended up happening is he did it again, over and over again after I warned him not to do it, and I just banned him from the crew. I just got rid of him at that point, and he started complaining that I kicked him out of the crew. But that's basically what a selfish helper is just you gotta watch out for these guys, these guys will want you to help you to sell their businesses, but they will immediately leave their businesses are all sold, and they will not help you with anything. If you want to avoid a selfish helper, if you really want to avoid something like this, the best way to do it is to play with friends. If you play with your friends, you know your friends. True friends are not going to do something like that. They're not going to screw you over. If you help your friends with their business, they will help you with your business. That's the way it should be. They're not going to leave the second that all their businesses are sold. If you don't have any friends that you can play with and you're selling with randoms, what I would advise to do in that situation is to do one business at a time. You do one business, and then they do one business. So, you form an MC, they help you with one business, and then right afterwards, you disband, help them with theirs, and you just keep going back and forth. That way, you're not helping the person sell like 5 businesses, and then they conveniently have to get off right when you're done helping them sell their stuff. But if you guys have encountered people like this, let me know down in the comments below. But like I said, I don't have gameplay of this happening, but I've seen this happen years ago, and this really pissed me off when people will just take advantage of people like that and just conveniently leave every single time when they're done selling their business, never help anybody. Like I said, I know stuff comes up. I know people have to get off the game. I know people aren't playing all the time. They got to go to work. They got to go to school. They got things to do. But the point that I'm getting at here is that do not ask people for help if you do not have time to help them sell. And like I said, most of the time these excuses aren't even valid. They just don't want to help people sell, and they're making excuses. At number 3, we have cargo griefers. Yeah, these guys are one of the most annoying players that are on the game, and these guys are actually probably the most common griefers that I've encountered, and I have so many clips over the years of these guys. And for people wondering, in this clip, the reason that you see the guy's laser firing much faster is because this is before Rockstar actually nerfed the laser cannons. But it's like, come on, dude. It's like, why did he do this? I had one more, crate to deliver, one more delivery. I was right about to finish this MC mission, and this guy just comes on over and blows me up. And he didn't just blow me up, he actually blew up my friend WRV, and he destroyed part of his shipment as well over there. We fortunately delivered most of the shipment, and this guy just kept killing me over and over again. So it wasn't just destroying the cargo, he's kept killing me over and over. Tried to get a plane, blew me up a bunch of times in the ground, and then when he finally crashed, I got into a Sparrow, and what did the guy do? Of course, he starts easy way outing. Of course, that's what the guy's gonna start doing. And remember earlier in the video when I talked about that guy who was constantly orb warping, the guy who was constantly teleporting back to his facility? Well, this is actually what happened beforehand. This is actually how that fight originally started. This is another instance. I was helping a friend sell his MC business, and then this guy comes out of nowhere with his Raiju in stealth mode, blows up my friend in his Raiju, and then blows up the truck. And I think that my friend lost the cargo. He did try to close his app on this, but I'm pretty certain that he ended up losing the cargo in this instance. But then it basically led to a big war, us fighting the guy, and as you saw earlier in the video, the guy constantly kept teleporting to his facility when we were about to kill him. And then lastly here we have this clip, and this is, remember that guy who actually sent the 1-0 message to me earlier in the video, 1-0, he tried to orbital cannon me. Well, he did orbital cannon me, but he didn't destroy the cargo at least. I was delivering 9 crates in the truck. I was doing solo sales for the CEO crates, and then, he blew me up right after the sale and started talking crap. I actually left the session shortly afterwards, and I started selling my other warehouse, which I had 9 crates in, and I had the tugboat. I was driving my boat towards the drop-off. I was so close to the drop-off, but I didn't realize that idiot was actually following me lobby to lobby. So he was following me each lobby until he finally found me, and I didn't realize he was in the lobby until I saw off the radar. When I saw off the radar activated, I panicked at that point. I should have started using Ghost earlier in this. It was my mistake, and he blew me up with the Oppressor Mark II, destroyed my 9 crates. Again, it wasn't 111 crates, it was only 9 crates, so it wasn't the end of the world, but it was still annoying. And then I ended up actually going into my submarine and just, hiding underwater and just seeing what that idiot was doing. And he eventually sent me a message, calling me a stupid redneck. And, how dumb are these people? I don't know if this guy has, seen my videos or anything like that, but I'm not a redneck. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, you idiot. But anyways, about these cargo griefers. These guys, like I said, they have no care in the world. They will destroy crates, even if it's 1 crate or 111 crates. If it's just giant, entire bunker shipments, entire nightclub shipments, entire hangar shipments. They don't care. They will destroy it all. They'll use Ghost Organization off the radar. They'll use Raiju's hidden with stealth mode. They will do anything to destroy cargo. And I know what people are going to tell me in the comments, because I've seen hundreds of comments of people arguing with me about this, and they tell me, professional, it's not griefing because it's part of the game. The game tells you that to destroy cargo. You get that little notification that, people are moving cargo and the cargo's appearing red, and you get $2,000 for it. Just because the game tells you to do it does not mean that it is okay to do it. It does not mean that it's right to do. And think about it this way. Is it illegal to be rude? No, it's not illegal to be rude, but you don't have to be a scumbag. You don't have to be an asshole, excuse my language, but yet people do stuff like this. Now look, if destroying cargo had some kind of big reward, like it was, you got half the value of the cargo, or better yet, if you could actually steal cargo, because criminal organizations would steal drugs from other criminal organizations. They're not going to go and blow it up. It doesn't make sense. So if you could steal somebody's, MC shipment and then, take it back to your MC business, something like that, that would make much more sense. Would that still be griefing? I don't know. It would still be annoying and rude, but at least you would have more justification for it. But here, there is no justification for it. There's literally destroying millions of dollars worth of cargo, and they don't care. They're just doing this on purpose just to grieve people. They like to get a reaction out of people. A lot of times these guys just enjoy people getting angry, and I don't know how anybody can possibly get enjoyment out of just ruining the game for people. But people do this all the time. They will just grief cargo like this, ruin it so many sales. And I will say about these guys is they have helped Rockstar sell so many shark cards. Because think about it. If somebody is selling like millions of dollars for cargo, right? And that cargo gets destroyed, that person might be more inclined to buy a shark card afterwards because they don't feel like going through all that work doing all that again. So yes, cargo griefers do help Rockstar sell shark cards. So just tell that to cargo griefers next time. Tell them that they're helping Rockstar sell microtransaction shark cards. I've told cargo griefers this before, and they're like, no, I'm not encouraging anybody to buy shark cards. You are. By destroying cargo, you are very much doing this. And I know I'm going to have another group of people in the comments that are going to tell me, but professional, you can sell in private sessions now. If you sell in public sessions, it is your fault. The reason people sell in public sessions is because they want that bonus. You get up to a 50% bonus. You get 2% stacked up to 50% of the total cargo value for each player that's not your CEO or MC in that lobby. So yes, it is worth selling in these public lobbies. And if somebody's trying to destroy your cargo, just close your application. But it doesn't matter. Even if you can sell in private sessions, why do you think that it's correct to blow up people's cargo like this? Why? Just like I said, just because the game gives you an option to do it does not mean that it's okay. You barely get any kind of reward. You get $2,000. You don't really get anything for it, and people still do it. They go out of their way to destroy people's cargo. Like I said, these people, and excuse my language, are just complete assholes. At number 2, we have something that every single GTA Online player has encountered in this game. If you've played enough lobbies in PvP, I guarantee you every single player has encountered this just because of how common this is. And I don't really have that recent of gameplay to use for this, but I thought that I would use this gameplay from 5 years ago. This is from my video, Fighting the Most Toxic Oppressor Mark II Griefer in what PvP is like in 2019. And I thought this was a perfect example of the type of situation that you deal with. So basically, this happened 5 years ago, selling a bunker shipment right here, and a guy in an Oppressor Mark II tried to kill me. I actually jumped out of it because I thought that he could lock onto the bunker vehicles, but then I realized later on that bunker vehicles, most of them cannot be actually locked onto by Oppressor Mark IIs. But anyways, the guy just destroyed the shipment, and he just kept coming after me, constantly kept trying to blow me up. And he would go into passive mode, which today, at least today, you don't have to really worry about people passive popping. That has been fixed. And there is a 5-minute cooldown now in the Oppressor Mark II. But you begin to ask yourself, what was Rockstar thinking by adding this thing to the game? You know, what were they really thinking? Because for me, my problem with the Oppressor Mark II, and I know I'm going to have a lot of people disagree with me, is I just don't think that has a place in GTA Online. I just think it's just you know, so out of place. It's just a crime game. I know it's not supposed to be the most realistic game, but at least every vehicle is supposed to be based on a real vehicle. But this thing, I don't know what this thing is. But I know people are going to tell me in the comments, professional, you know, I use the Oppressor Mark II for grinding. I don't use it for griefing. What I will say about that is my solution to balance this thing out, personally, would be to make it so that you can lock on the NPCs, you know, during missions, you can lock on the cops, but you cannot lock on the player vehicles. If they just took off the lock on for player vehicles, but they kept it still for like NPCs, people could still use it to grind, but they wouldn't have to worry about, you know, somebody constantly locking onto their vehicles and blowing them up with it. They would actually have to manually aim, and most griefers actually suck when it comes to manually aim. They can't actually do it. They have to actually use the lock on for everything. But yeah, that's basically it with these Oppressor Mark II griefers is they just get really toxic, and I know, like I said, I know there's a cooldown now on the Oppressor Mark II, but people still abuse it. People still spam it. It is the #1 vehicle that is used in PvP. Probably a #1 thing that's actually probably used to kill players. Of all the things that have killed players the most in GTA Online, it is probably the Oppressor Mark II. It's because people just spam it with the MC. They can just spawn it right there, get onto it, and just start killing people immediately. I just don't think it personally should have ever been added to the game, but that's just my opinion on it. But this thing, like I said, the Oppressor Mark II griefers is just so common that if you've played the game enough, I guarantee you've been griefed at least one time by these guys. And the reason I have these guys higher on the list than cargo griefers is because Oppressor Mark II griefers can be cargo griefers. They can be people who, you know, warp to facilities. They can be also the 1-0 idiots. So Oppressor Mark II griefers can also be doing a lot of other things as well. And #1, the #1 most annoying and toxic type of GTA Online player is God Mode griefers. Now, in my 2017 video, my top 10 most annoying types of GTA Online players in 2017, I said that people who DDoS are the worst, most toxic type of players, and I still believe that. I think that people who DDoS, I think we can all agree, are the worst kinds of players on any kind of game because they're attacking your internet, they're knocking off your internet, not letting you play anything. However, though, those players are rare. It's rare to encounter, you know, scumbags like that, and because I'm a YouTuber, these idiots are going to target me much more and target my internet. But for the average person, they're not going to really run into people who DDoS as often. But for the average person, what is the most annoying type of player that they can meet on GTA Online? That is God Mode griefers. So for PC, you got people who are modding, you know, God Mode, but I wanted to really stay away from modders on this video. I wanted to talk about types of players specifically, but then you have God Mode glitchers. And the God Mode glitchers, you're not safe from them on console as well. On console, they will come after you, and I have 3 examples right here. So right here, I was helping my friend WRV sell one of his businesses. My other friend Brandon, who was helping with the sale, got attacked. He died in the boat, and there was an Oppressor Mark II griefing him. So we went over there and fought that guy to prevent him from destroying the cargo. And at least this guy didn't destroy cargo, I'll give him that. But we got into a dogfight with him. I was in the rogue, just fighting the guy. And eventually it went to the city, and both of us crashed. I crashed my Rogue, and he got off his Oppressor Mark II, but then he started going after my friend WRV, and he kept killing him over and over, and I got into a Sparrow, and I started firing missiles at him. And take a look at this right here. If you're not convinced that this guy's in God mode, just watch this very carefully right here. See this right now? See that? The missiles are clearly hitting him. Missiles are clearly hitting right next to him. You cannot survive this. Multiple times, the guy was clearly in God mode. And what he ended up doing later is he actually got near this corner here so I wouldn't run him over with the tank, because most God mode glitches, if you actually take like the Kanjali and you activate Headhunter and you just run them over and you just keep the tank on top of them, it'll actually knock them out of God mode. But he actually got in this corner because he knew exactly what I was doing. And eventually at this point we got, pissed off. We just left. My friend Brandon was throwing like a few sticky bombs at him, but it wasn't doing anything. Now right here we got our second God mode griefer, and most of these examples happened like a year ago. I think the third one happened like 2 years ago. But anyways, take a look at this right here. So we were playing as a motorcycle, motorcycle gang, biker gang. We were role playing as a biker gang, and I was playing with my friend Sebi, GB, Riley here, and my friend Sebi started getting attacked, and we came on over here to help him. And on a motorcycle you can actually use grenade launchers and EMP launchers. A lot of people forget that. We actually like doing that. It's actually really fun to fire the grenade launchers off the bikes. But anyways, what happened is, look at this. Slow motion. I fired a grenade launcher at his Kuruma, and he's still alive. The Kuruma cannot take even one explosive. It gets blown up in one RPG, one grenade launcher. I think it even gets blown up in one explosive sniper shot. So it is bulletproof, but it's not explosive proof, and it gets blown up pretty easily there. So we thought at first it was just a guy in a Kuruma driving around killing people, but we realized that he was also in a God mode vehicle. And then later on, he cornered me here, and I fired an EMP launcher at his Kuruma, thinking that it would at least disable his vehicle for a few seconds, and it did absolutely nothing. Later on, I fired an explosive sniper shot, also did nothing. I got into my Sparrow den, and I started firing a bunch of missiles at the guy. I chased the guy, fired a bunch of them. I know a bunch of them missed, but a bunch of them did also hit him, and did nothing. Only one of these missiles will blow up a Kuruma. The dude was still alive. At that point, eventually I got pissed off, and I left the session. Later on, we were selling one of my MC businesses. We were selling a weed business specifically. And the guy followed me to another lobby. And how he probably found me is I play on free aim. Not a lot of people play on free aim. There's not that many free aim servers as there is auto aim servers. So he was probably just jumping lobby to lobby until he eventually found me. He found me, and this really sucks because he came after me right when I was near the end here. I was right about to deliver the truck, and the guy comes in with his God mode Kuruma, and of course, he blows up the truck and he kills me. And then at that point, as I was, trying to, do something to just piss him off, to annoy him, I thought I'd get into the Phantom Wedge and just, start ramming him. At least I would do something, but no, he just shot me out, and I just got annoyed at that point. I just left the session. It was just not worth fighting this guy. And then lastly here, we have the third God mode cheater. And this happened right when the game came out, because I actually made a fresh character at this time, right when GTA 5 came out on PS5, before I went back to my original character. But anyways, take a look at this. We were selling an MC business, and he went after the product. He destroyed the product. I saw that there was just something not right up ahead. My friend was getting attacked up there, and then I got out, and he oppressored me. I started firing my sniper rifle at him, and you can see in slow motion right here that I'm getting shots on him because the reticule is turning red, but it's not doing anything. He's not taking any kind of damage, and he destroyed product. I then ran up the hill to confront the guy, and I realized pretty quickly that the guy was in God mode. But what I did was I kept firing an RPG at him, and this must have pissed the guy off because he wasn't able to get up. But then after a bunch of RPGs that I fired at him, he disappeared, and he was now spamming an RC vehicle in God mode. So he spammed that little RC tank. He went after me. I don't know if the RC vehicle was in God mode as well, but I can assume it probably was since he was in God mode. This went to a war into the city, and eventually I just got a Savage, and I just kept firing explosive cannons at this guy just to make this guy fly around. And look at this right here. See this in slow motion. I'm just firing so much explosive cannons at this guy. This guy should have been dead 100 times over, but he's not. And somebody in the lobby actually even fired an orbital cannon at him. So there was other people in the lobby that were also pissed at this guy. This guy was going around God mode, just basically griefing everybody in the lobby. So an orbital cannon, he's surviving a Savage. It's doing nothing. Fortunately, though, there is a good ending to the story, and it's going to make a lot of people happy. What my friend Brandon did right here is he spawned a Kanjali tank. And if you actually spawn a Kanjali tank and you activate Headhunter, if you run over the God Mode cheater, because look at how desperately he was trying to get away from the tank. He knew exactly what we were doing at this point. If you run over the God Mode cheater with a Kanjali tank and you just sit on top of him, you just do not let him get back up, it will kill him. It'll knock him out of God Mode. And when he responds, he is not in God Mode anymore. But if somebody's in a God Mode vehicle, then I really don't know how to get him out. But if they're on foot and they're in God Mode, this is basically how you get them out. It's just like this. And Rockstar at this point should start banning people for this. If you have like video footage of somebody in God Mode, if you report people for this, Rockstar should take this stuff more seriously. Even if it is a glitch on PlayStation and Xbox is not just an actual mod, it's the person that's using God Mode that's breaking everything in the game. The reason that these guys are the worst is because most of the other people on this list, all the other griefers, you can pretty much fight. You can fight the Oppressor Mark II griefers, you can fight the 1-0 idiots, even the easy way out spammers. Even though they're annoying, you can at least fight them. Even the people who, warp to their facility, you can still somewhat fight them. But these guys, there's really no fighting these guys. Unless you get the Kanjali and you just crush them like this, they basically ruin the game for everyone. You cannot kill them. A player that cannot be killed and just goes around killing everybody, in my opinion, is the most annoying types of player. And the fact that these guys a lot of times go around and just purposely destroy cargo on top of that, so they're God Mode cheaters, and on top of that, they're just cargo griefers, and also they've used the Oppressor Mark II, one of them has. So just absolute scumbags. I cannot stand anybody who uses God Mode. I have no respect for them whatsoever. The worst types and most toxic types of GTA Online players. So I know this video's been kind of long, guys, but it's basically me ranting about a bunch of the players, the types of players that just piss me off and annoy me. Haven't done a video like this in 5 years, so I hope that you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, do drop a like. Let me know, are there any other players that I've missed in this list? Any other players that you think are annoying but I didn't talk about? Thank you guys for watching, and if you want me to make more content like this, do drop a like. It does help the channel out a lot. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.